The Ultra Beasts are coming to Pokemon Go, and it's finally official. But how good are they, actually? Pokemon Go tweeted this teaser video that reveals the first Ultra Beast, Nihilego. And lucky for me, I was actually already planning to make this video since it was revealed that Unown, U and B, would be appearing at Global Go Fest. I figured that probably stands for Ultra Beasts. I should make a video about the Ultra Beasts, and here we are. It's been officially announced, or teased. So let's talk about the Ultra Beasts. How good are they in Pokemon Go? So the Ultra Beasts were introduced in Pokemon Sun and Moon, and they're like legendary Pokemon that came from wormholes in space. So it would actually be really cool to see them show up in a more interesting way than just popping up on top of a gym for a raid, if maybe some wormholes opened up in Pokemon Go. We don't know how that's going to happen. They're probably just going to be in raids, to be honest, but let's look at their stats and their moves and talk about how strong they're going to be. Starting with Nihilego. Nihilego is a jellyfish thing, but its name really speaks to my emo soul. It is a rock and poison type Pokemon, and it's going to max out at 4,465 CP. Its base stats in Pokemon Go will be 249 attack, 210 defense, and 240 HP, which is actually really good. Just for reference, Mewtwo's base stats are 300 attack, 182 defense, and 214 HP. So keep that in mind as just a little frame of reference when we talk about these stats. Now, going back to Nihilego's moveset, we can actually kind of guess at what moves it's going to learn, because in Pokemon Go, Pokemon can only learn moves that they learn in the main series games. So we can look through the list of moves that all of these Ultra Beasts learn normally and at least pick out which ones they might learn in Pokemon Go. So looking at Nihilego's moves, unfortunately it doesn't learn Smackdown or Rock Throw, which means it's probably not going to have access to a good Rock type fast move. It does learn Rock Slide, which is a good charge move, and because its stats are so good, it might still be okay as a Rock type attacker, even with a different type fast move. Now, as a Poison type, it does learn Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, which is probably the best offensive moveset as a raid attacker or as a gym attacker. And just for reference, the next closest Poison type that's currently in Pokemon Go is Roserade with 243 attack, but Nihilego's other stats are better than Roserade. So it would become probably one of the best Poison type attackers in the game. Moving on to the next Ultra Beast, Buzzwole. I'm definitely the wrong person to be flexing. Buzzwole is a bug and fighting type Pokemon that maxes out at 3,922 CP. It has 236 base attack, 197 defense, and 216 HP. And for reference, Machamp and Conkeldurr both have 234 base attack, but they both have lower defense. So Buzzwole does get all the good fighting type moves. It learns Counter, Dynamic Punch, and Close Combat, meaning it's probably going to be a very good fighting type attacker. Unfortunately, it doesn't get any good bug moves, but to be honest, we don't really use bug type attackers for almost anything in Pokemon Go. So Buzzwole overall, probably going to be up there as a fighting type attacker. Next up is Pheromosa, which is what is it? It's like a little silverfish, like a bug you would find in the back of your grandma's closet. It's also bug and fighting type, but it maxes out at 3,213 CP. It's kind of a glass cannon. It has 316 base attack, 174 HP, and 85 defense. So for comparison, a glass cannon that we're probably all familiar with, Alakazam, has 167 base defense. So if you think about how quickly Alakazam gets demolished in battle, Pheromosa is going down twice as fast. And then if we look at potential moves, it doesn't learn Counter, so it's not going to have a good fighting type attack moveset. Its bug moves are also bad. It doesn't get any of the good ones. So you should probably just leave it in the back of your grandma's closet. Pheromosa, probably not going to be good in Pokemon Go. Next up, we have Xurkitree. Xurkitree is an electric type Pokemon that maxes out at 4,451 CP. It has 330 base attack, 144 defense, and 195 HP. So to compare that to a current top electric type attacker, Zekrom has 275 attack, but it does have higher defensive stats. So Xurkitree will be more of a glass cannon. It's going to deal more damage than Zekrom, but it's also going to take more damage. As for moves, it gets all the good ones. It gets Thunder Shock, it gets Wild Charge, it gets Thunderbolt. So there's a very good chance that Xurkitree will be a very good glass cannon electric type attacker in Pokemon Go. Up next is Celesteela, which is I honestly don't know. What is it? It's this. It's a steel and flying type Pokemon that maxes out at 3,507 CP. It has 219 base HP, 207 attack, and 199 defense. Unfortunately, with those stats, it's not going to compete with Metagross as a steel type attacker. It's not going to compete with Rayquaza and Moltres as a flying type attacker. So it's not going to be good in raids, but it could be interesting in PvP if Niantic gets creative with its moveset. It does have decent stats, decent defensive stats, kind of all around stats. So could be useful in PvP, ultimately depends on what moves it ends up getting. Here's a fun one, Kartana. Kartana is a grass and steel type Pokemon that maxes out at 4,156 CP. It has a massive 323 base attack, 182 defense, and 139 HP, which are almost the same stats, very similar stats to Mega Sceptile. Now, as for potential moves, its best choices right now are Razor Leaf and Leaf Blade, which will be familiar if you're using Pokemon like Shadow Victory Bell. And then as a steel type, it doesn't even learn any of the steel type attacks that we currently have in Pokemon Go. So unless Niantic adds more moves to the Pokemon Go move pool, Kartana definitely not going to be a good steel type attacker, but it definitely has potential as a grass type. Look at this big boy. Guzzlord is a dark and dragon type Pokemon. It maxes out at 3,264 CP, and it has an insane 440 base HP. It has 188 base attack and 99 base defense. So to compare that to something you're familiar with, Blissey has 496 HP and 169 defense. So Guzzlord, even though it has massive HP, it's not as big defensively as Blissey. And of course, with those stats, its potential lies only in PvP. It's not going to be a good raid attacker, but it does have a lot of interesting moves that could be used in PvP, like Bite, Dragon Tail, Poison Jab, Crunch, Body Slam, Sludge Bomb. So there's definitely potential for Guzzlord to make an impact in whatever leagues it fits in. Definitely Ultra League, might not be strong enough for Master League, and maybe depending on its CP, you might be able to get it small enough for Great League, but I'm not sure on that, actually. Next up is Naganadel. I don't know how to pronounce it. That's my guess, though. That's what we're going with. This is an interesting one because it actually evolves from Poipole, so I'm interested to see how this gets implemented. If Poipole is in raids, it's probably not going to be that difficult of a raid boss, so it'll be interesting if it's that way, or maybe it's through special research or some other way. But it does evolve, so we're going to look at the evolved form, Naganadel. Poison and Dragon type, and maxes out at 3,587 CP, with 263 base attack, 177 HP, and 159 defense. To compare that to existing Poison and Dragon types, Roserade has 243 attack, and Rayquaza has 284 attack. Now, there is another Pokemon coming in the future, Dragapult, and Dragapult as a dragon just has better stats across the board when you compare it to Naganadel. So already, we know there's another Pokemon coming in the future that's just going to completely outclass this. But it does actually learn some pretty decent moves. It learns Poison Jab and Sludge Bomb, which we talked about earlier, is the best Poison type attacking moves, and it learns Dragon Claw and Outrage. So if you want to invest in it, it definitely could be useful. Just know that it's going to be outclassed whenever Dragapult comes to Pokemon Go. Our next Ultra Beast is Stakataka, which is a stack of rocks. It's a rock and steel type Pokemon that maxes out at 3,724 CP. It has 213 base attack, 156 base HP, and 298 base defense. Only Lugia, Regice, and Regirock have higher base defense than Stakataka. And with a respectable 213 base attack, it could actually be an okay tanky Pokemon to use as an attacker. It does have pretty decent moves. Rock Throw, Rock Slide for rock type attacks. It can also learn Body Slam and Earthquake. So it could be interesting as like a Heatran style tanky raid anchor, or potentially in PvP as well. And finally, we have Blacephalon. What the heck is Blacephalon? It's a Fire and Ghost type Pokemon. It maxes out at 3,727 CP. It has a massive 315 base attack, 148 defense, and 142 HP. So definitely a glass cannon. To compare that to other Fire and Ghost type Pokemon, Mega Gengar has 349 base attack, and Mega Charizard has 319 base attack. So Blacephalon does actually learn good moves in both Ghost and Fire types. It learns Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball, which is probably the best Ghost type attacking moveset. It also learns Fire Spin and Overheat, two of the strongest Fire type moves. So this is definitely a candidate for a Glass Cannon, Fire, or Ghost type attacker. Probably both, depending on what moves it actually ends up with. So that's it for our first look at the Ultra Beasts in Pokemon Go. Remember that all of this is ultimately dependent on what moves they actually end up getting. There's no guarantee that they're going to get the moves that we talked about today, but it definitely is possible. I'm glad I made this video because I actually never played Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, so I've never had any experience with the Ultra Beasts in-game. So I actually got to learn something while I was researching for the video. So let me know down in the comments which one are you most excited for, which one's your favorite, and if you want to learn about the best attackers that are already in Pokemon Go right now, check this video out. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. I'll see you soon.